People, deluded. Good morning, and I hope you're all doing well and safe. Now, I'm sure you saw over the last couple of days, it's been an eventful week, not just for English football, but for European football. You got Suarez making history with Atletico, Barca played and whatnot. Bayern Munich lost their first game in God knows however long, got thumped by Hoffenheim. There's been some bookie results. You all saw the Leicester City versus Man City game where Leicester thumped them. Vardy got a hat-trick. I think Vardy's on 108 goals, and Jamie Vardy's undoubtedly a Premier League legend in his own right. But when you consider he played his first Premier League game at 27, 28 years of age, it further confirms how much of a legend that man is. But VAR, there's a bit of a sour note now. I've been here speaking about VAR in my videos, and obviously to my friends, you lot the same with your mates or your family or whatever. You've had your thoughts on VAR, not just with this handball thing against Spurs and the Palace one, but many different incidences. We've seen handball given, we've seen the same thing what happened to Dyer not given for handball. It's very unclear, and to me, it's unfortunate that we are going to get into grounds where, defenders might say, teams might have to think of another way of defending. I don't know how you do it, but, you're almost at a disadvantage when you go for a header as a defender, Sometimes it is handball, and I'm not really getting at the refs because refereeing in this country is poor, but specific to VAR, they're actually just implementing the law, the rules they've been given. So how much can I get at the refs? The refs are incompetent for many different things, but specific to this handball rule, I'm not going to play them at it, innit? You can't really shoot the messenger, just carrying out. FIFA, UEFA, whatever governing body, it needs to pattern. Like, obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm going to laugh when Spurs get misfortune, In true Arsenal fan fashion, I'm sure you all saw the videos resurfacing of Spurs fans when VAR was on their side and they was chanting it in the stadium. I'm an Arsenal fan. I always want Spurs to do worse than us or want to laugh at Spurs the same way Spurs would want to at Arsenal and all their other rivals. But when you look past the sort of silly tribalism, it's unfortunate, Spurs got shagged. Now, on many hands specific to that game, Spurs should have killed that game off when they were all on top of Newcastle. Newcastle came back in the second half, and you might say on the balance of things, that's their luck and whatnot. But if Spurs killed this off, this would have been a minor incident. It wouldn't have cost them 2 points. But that being said, what do they want Eric Dyer to do? Seriously, what do they want Eric Dyer to do? One, he's not looking at the ball. Two, he's gone for a header, so he's elevating. Literally, he's not looking, and it's hit his hand. Like, what do you want man to do? Now, again, the refs are working to their rule book. Anything that hits the hand is a handball. But it's like a bit of common sense needs to prevail. It's like Dyer and defenders, and I was a fullback, so I sympathise with defenders. How are you meant to counter against it? Like, you have arms, you can't cut them off. If your arm's in an unnatural position, like was it Mupé? Whoever it was against United, if it's an obvious thing, then I get it. But when you're clearly jumping, when you're definitely not got eyes in the back of your head, what do you want a man to do? And like I said, I was a defender, I was a fullback, I am a fullback in Sunday League, and you're at this, what's the point jumping now? You put any hands, not that you're touching anybody, you put any hands, you're getting a penalty. The ball hits your hand, whether you're looking at the ball or not, it's or whatnot. So what's the point jumping? Teams might say, attackers, I'll let you lot get the headers, we'll just try to defend the second bounce and whatnot. We're in a very scary area, man, and you're hearing a lot of the cliche comments come out, we're ruining the game is being ruined, this and that and the other, and a lot of it is true, but it's sad. And obviously Steve Bruce spoke about it as well. I won't go over his comments, but he more or less, he recognised that obviously today I benefited from this. I'm not going to lie, I'm happy about that. We walk away with something against this game because it could have been long for us. But it's an idiot thing. Like, this shouldn't have happened. Like, Steve Bruce freed it up, and we're in dangerous territory. Again, I'm no idiot. I don't understand the laws and whatnot too tough, but I doubt that they're going to change it mid-season. But we're in uncharted waters. It's scared, and you run the risk of spoiling events with crap like this, man. Because what if that exact same Dyer incident happens in the last minute of a Champions League final? By the letter of the law, it's a penalty, but come on, morally, it's not making sense. Like, we have to have a bit of common sense. It's all about the context. It's all about the intention. If Dyer, and again, they got VAR to be moving things. If Dyer moved his hand or did something on the obvious thing, then it is what it is. And it's like what Steve Bruce said. For me, what I'd describe as work. I know Steve Bruce technically isn't working class because he's a Premier League manager, but footballing terms, he screams working class to me, and I'm the same. For the working class football fan, you did feel, the fans that just deal with football. We deal with the pitch. We don't deal with the finances and all of these other things that are part of the game now. For us, we assumed VAR clear and obvious errors. You know, numerous teams. As an Arsenal fan, I could sit here and talk about things. I remember Liverpool against Arsenal. Ramsey scored a completely legit goal. It was not given at the Emirates, and we dropped a couple of points. Clear and obvious errors, clear and obvious fouls, clear and obvious offsides, handballs that are not seen. These are the things. It just seems like, I don't know if it's the league, if it's the individuals that are running VAR. It just seems like they want to make a show of things of themselves, and it is too subjective, and it isn't making much sense. Like 1 minute you're checking on sides, then you're checking this, then you're checking that, and then you're giving the pens. It's sad. It's sad, man. You got players scared to celebrate. You got people scared to header now, and it's ridiculous. Now, obviously, the only benefit. And as a neutral, and when it, like I said, like I'm an Arsenal fan, it's Spurs versus Newcastle. I have no relevance to this game. Obviously, when you're a neutral, because of this law, you know, a natural byproduct in theory, there should be more goals. Like I think not that VAR has played a part in all of the penalties, but we must be touching 20 or so penalties in the first couple of weeks of the league opening, which has to be a record. Again, I don't have the stats, but we have seen a lot of penalties. So a byproduct is obviously more goals in the back of the net, which in theory should make things more entertaining. But as you lot know, would you say in that Spurs game it necessarily added to it? If Spurs won, they would have got away with it because second half they let themselves slip. But you know, it didn't add to any excitement. We're here focused on the controversy. We're not speaking about Son's injury and how it affects Spurs. We're not speaking about Newcastle being lucky not to be 5 goals down. We're not speaking about many things, you know, even just from a footballing point of view. We're speaking about things after. I mean, the only benefit of it was, you know, Jose was a bit smart in his comments. He didn't want to speak because he didn't want to fine, and I think he was doing that stuff he does at Chelsea. You know, it was funny him saying Spurs is a small club, etc., etc. And for banter purposes, it's funny. You know, it is obviously funny. But when you look beneath that, you know, that's a smart little comment to put the, you know. So then the next time this happens, to put real problems on refs is to start on refs. Is to start there's an agenda against Spurs sort of thing, to a degree. But I feel sorry, listen, you know, I feel sorry for Spurs. I feel sorry for Eric Dyer because him the most. Because what the hell is he supposed to do? Lidge, like this, for him now, he's going to have to go have this feeling that he's let the team down and all of these things. And many incidences you might say, yes, like everybody at Spurs, you know, you should have created more daylight. But it's not his fault. Like I said, the man isn't looking at the ball. Like his arms, for me, if you're not looking at the ball and your arms are not in an unnatural position, then we've got to have a bit of common sense. Like, you know, even in that Spurs game, I'm sure, was it Ndombele or something? They blasted it and it hit someone's hand. Now, I don't think there was enough time for that man to move his hand from the ball. And I don't think that was a penalty. But by the logic of Dyer's one given for a penalty, I can't lie. Again, I have to watch it again. But I'm pretty sure if you're going to give Dyer's one, you know, as harsh as it is, you can't really not give Spurs that one. I think the only people that are happy in relation to VAR and penalties is Man United. And that game there was crazy for different reasons. And that shows the nature of the game. Like, never have I seen a penalty given after the game. You know, I was a bit confused. Does Brighton's goal count? Does it not? I think it did. You know, it's been a crazy couple of weeks in the Premier League. I love the excitement. I love the talking points. But yeah, man, again, it's not for the Premier League. It's not for the FA particularly, you know. It's for the governing bodies to get the law of the game in check properly, in my opinion. And VAR's got to be better, man. I don't like the way VAR is implemented. In this country, as I have said numerous times. But like I said, Dyer got shagged. You know, was it Joe Ward or whatever? He got shagged. I think Sheffield United fans, you know, since they come into the Premier League, they'll have something to say about VAR as well. Wasn't Callum Chambers a couple of years ago unfortunate against that? I could be wrong. That could have just been poor refereeing. Like I said, yeah, I'm not trying to defend refs. I think the standard of refereeing in this country is appalling. But specific to that law that Dyer did, you know, the ref, what can he do in it? Not that I like to defend refs, but what can he do in it? Like, they're given, whether I agree with the law or not, he's implementing the law at play. So I can't really, for me, that's shooting the messenger. That's getting at the man just doing the message, and he's just doing his job. And I don't have much time for refs, both in Sunday League and the Premier League. But I've got nothing more to add, man. So let me just keep it moving, man. I just wanted to offer my thoughts on VAR. On that note, though, people, you know it's always a pleasure. DG.